Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. Earlier in the week, Cartoon Network had their panel at the Annecy Film Festival for Animation, where they were going to announce a lot of news regarding some upcoming series and new shows alike. And in reality, this year at the Annecy Film Festival was a little bit lackluster for Cartoon Network. Obviously, we got the massive news that Steven Universe is returning in the form of Lars of the Stars. Card above to that video if you don't know what I'm talking about. But other than that, we really did not get a lot of news regarding Cartoon Network from this festival. Yes, apparently people who were at the festival got to see a first look at Foster's Fun Time for Imaginary Friends. They got to see the opening for Adventure Time side quest. JG Quintel was there to talk about not only the new regular show, but he also discussed Super Mutant Magic Academy. But regarding the new regular show, oddly enough, JG Quintel wouldn't confirm the series title of the show, despite the fact that, Lost Tapes being the title leaked out 6 to 8 months ago, so it's not exactly like that's a well-kept secret. On top of which, Adventure Time Fiona and Cake was briefly talked about, and Teen Titans Go was confirmed to be getting a 10th season. You might be saying to yourself, DC Network, they mentioned a lot of shows there. What are you talking about that this was a lackluster event? What are you talking about that they didn't show off much? And while yes, there are a lot of shows coming, there is a lot of shows that they mentioned at this event. They really didn't reveal a lot of new details about these shows, and there's a lot of series that are upcoming from Cartoon Network Studios that straight up weren't talked about here. And in comparison to last year, this is really a lackluster event that didn't live up to the hype that last year presented. To be honest, I think viewing last year as kind of the threshold of what we're going to get every year was just unrealistic, right? Last year we got the announcement of Heyo Bimo, Adventure Time Side Quest, regular show Lost Tapes, the Scooby-Doo anime Go-Go Mystery Machine, amongst other series getting announced there. I don't think it's realistic to view that every single year we're going to get that much stuff at the Annecy Film Festival. But the fact that we only got the announcement for Steven Universe Lars of the Stars, and they really didn't update us much on these other shows that are coming outside of mentioning Fiona and Cake, Adventure Time Side Quest, showing the little intro for that, which apparently is still a work in progress. This show's coming out next year. They could have revealed a bit more about it maybe. The fact that regular show didn't really get much of anything. They just said, yeah, we're working on a new regular show. We told you this last year. We're not going to tell you the title. We're not going to show you what the characters look like. Apparently, JG Quintel was playing coy with the audience and was like, hey, you want to see the characters for the new regular show? And then showed pictures of food, so I don't know if that's a teaser that this is following a new cast or what that's supposed to be. I don't know. But nevertheless, my point is, while going into this event, I wasn't expecting the same amount of announcements, the same amount of news that we got last year from the Annecy Film Festival. I was expecting a bit more than this. I would have liked to maybe get an update on what's going on with the new Powerpuff Girls. Maybe they could talk about Teen Titans Go, The Night Begins to Shine, because remember that was announced back in 2021. They haven't discussed that series since. I'm assuming that's gotten canceled and is no longer happening. And the biggest thing to me that really is indicative of the state of Cartoon Network, because I think all of this is a bit indicative of what's going on behind the scenes right now and how Cartoon Network's not in the greatest of places. It's very interesting, the dichotomy between the two, because last year really set forth hope, and it's oh wow, Cartoon Network might actually have a bright future. Look at all they're doing. And this year kind of brought that hype back down, because it's yeah, they're still working on a good amount of series, but the only new show that we got announced was Steven Universe Lars of the Stars, and it's not even coming to Cartoon Network. It's coming to Amazon Prime Video. And that's the other thing that I want to talk about here, is what this proved to me today, what this proved to me about the future of Cartoon Network going forward. And we discussed this in a recent video discussing the split of Warner Brothers Discovery and how they're forming two separate companies. Card above to that video if you haven't seen it. What this tells me is Cartoon Network as a channel is dead. They're not focusing on the channel anymore. They really don't care what happens to it. They're you know what, kids aren't really watching cable anymore. What does it matter what we do with the channel? Let's just make shows of these fan favorite series that are iconic enough that we could sell them to the highest bidder. And that's what their MO is right now, and that's what they are focusing on. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see we're getting a new regular show. I'm happy to see we're getting a new Adventure Time. I'm glad to see that Gumball's returning after that 6-year-long cliffhanger we've been sitting on. But that show's going to Hulu as well. It just proves to me that going forward, they don't care about their linear cable networks anymore, which is kind of indicative of the fact that, hey, they're splitting right now. Warner Brothers Discovery is having a split by mid-2026 where the linear cable networks are forming one company and the studios and streaming services are forming another company. There's a multitude of reasons for this split. We got into that in my recent video discussing this, but a side factor of this that I didn't really touch on is they don't care about these cable networks anymore. They really don't. Yes, some of them are lucrative still, like TNT, TBS. Yes, they have some NBA games on there. Those are still lucrative businesses for them. They have some MLB playoff games as well. I think TBS has like an MLB game of the week or something too. So some of these are still lucrative businesses that are pulling in money. But when it comes to something like Cartoon Network or Boomerang, they don't care about these channels anymore. They really don't. All they're going to do is continue to air Teen Titans Go on it, have some reruns of some old series, and call it a day. They're not going to put these new shows onto the channel unless if they can't find a buyer within the streaming world to pay them a boatload of money to obtain the rights to air these shows, which for a lot of these series, they're not going to have a problem doing that. The Amazing World of Gumball, Hulu decided to be the highest bidder, so you're getting the Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball. For Batman Cape Crusader and the new Steven Universe and Lars of the Stars, Amazon Prime Video stepped up to the plate and they were the highest bidder, so you're getting the rights to air these shows. In terms of regular show Lost Tapes, that remains to be seen. I know recently it leaked out there, I believe, that it's going to Adult Swim in Canada, but that means absolutely nothing for here in the US, because with the new Gumball series, that's airing on Cartoon Network worldwide, except for the US, it's on Hulu. To me, this just proves that, hey, most of the series that get announced from here on out aren't going to actually be on Cartoon Network, because there's other lucrative deals that they could come up with that make them more money than airing these shows on Cartoon Network. It's really sad to see that Cartoon Network as a whole, Cartoon Network as a channel, is basically dead. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if within the next half decade or so, the channel actually shuts down and it basically just becomes a studio that, you know, sells its shows to streaming platforms, because that's essentially what's happening right now. Yeah, they're making a lot of shows. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming, but none of it's actually coming to Cartoon Network. And the fact of the matter is, this split's happening. Cartoon Network Studios is a part of one company. Cartoon Network, the channel, is a part of a separate company. So why does Cartoon Network Studios have to be loyal to Cartoon Network if they're not under the same umbrella? That's what's going to happen going forward, and this is just the beginning of it, right? The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball was the starting point, and now Steven Universe Lars of the Stars is what's next. And I'm sure the news that's going to trickle out over the next few months to a year or so is regular show Lost Tapes is not on Cartoon Network. Adventure Time Side Quest, not on Cartoon Network. These are going to be sold to whoever the highest bidder is. And the problem with this, for me, is it becomes so disjointed when you go to watch Cartoon Network series because they're all in different places, right? Gumball's on Hulu. I have to now get a $18, $19 a month subscription to watch the Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball. But then if I want to watch Steven Universe, Lars of the Stars, I have to be an Amazon Prime subscriber. Same thing for Batman Cape Crusader. Okay, at least those two are in the same place. But wait, if you want to watch Adventure Time Fiona and Cake, you know, that critically acclaimed Adventure Time series that came out a few years ago, you have to be a Max subscriber now. Oh wait, hypothetically, you want to see regular show Lost Tapes. This isn't confirmed, this hasn't happened, but oh, Netflix is the highest bidder. You have to get Netflix now. Again, we don't know if that's going to happen with regular show Lost Tapes, but just speculation, and hypothetically, if that does happen, my point is, you have to have like 4 or 5 different streaming subscriptions to watch all of these shows from Cartoon Network. It's absolutely absurd and just shows how disjointed this company is and how disjointed their brands are. It's really sad to see how things have turned out for Cartoon Network and how they're really just on life support, honestly, at this point. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the plug gets pulled on the channel any day now. Like I said, over the next half decade, I'm sure Cartoon Network is going to be no more, because what's the point of the channel anymore if you're not actually airing stuff on your own channel? Like, they might keep it around just because Adult Swim is a bit more lucrative for them than Cartoon Network is itself. Obviously, we've seen Adult Swim take over a lot of airtime on the channel. They might just keep Cartoon Network around and just have, you know, whatever they want air on it. Maybe in these deals with Hulu and Amazon Prime Video, maybe there's a clause in it where it's like, oh, it's exclusive to Hulu and Amazon Prime Video respectively for 3 years, but then after 3 years, we can air reruns on our cable network, Cartoon Network. That is possible. That all remains to be seen. I mean, Steven Universe is playing on Discovery Family, so you never know what's going to happen. But right now, at the end of the day, it's just sad to see what's happening with Cartoon Network, and it's a little disappointing to see the lack of new news we got from this festival. Again, I wasn't expecting to have a big blowout like we did last year, but I was hoping we get more than one new series announcement. Obviously, the elephant in the room for a lot of people, and I saw this on Twitter, people discussing this, saying, oh, is there a new Ben 10 getting announced at the Annecy Film Festival for animation? No, there's not. And it's like, I feel like there's a lot of shows, and again, this is assuming that a Ben 10 is happening, because maybe a Ben 10's not happening, who knows at this point. But I feel like there's a lot of shows that people are waiting to hear updates on. They want to hear what's happening with, you know, the new Powerpuff Girls. People want to know what's happening with Ben 10, what's happening with this new regular show. You announced it last year. Supposedly it's supposed to come out next year. Rumor has it, but we don't really know anything about it. So can we get some more details there? Maybe, you know, discuss what happened with Unicorn Warriors Eternal. I'm assuming it's not getting a second season at this point, but you never really said anything about it. As of the recording of this video, I haven't seen any news regarding Adult Swim, but like My Adventures with Superman hasn't gotten any news. news, and season 3 is supposed to be coming. Batman Cape Crusaders getting a second season, that also wasn't discussed, but that would probably be something that Amazon wants to control, given that they have the rights to stream that show. My point being is there's a lot of shows that are coming that are confirmed to be coming, and a lot of shows that people want to hear about and are wondering what happened to these series, what happened to these franchises that could have been touched upon here, and they weren't. Instead, we just got a little bit of new details with some of these series, like SideQuest getting the intro apparently shown, and then, they got a clip of Gumball that's new. Cool, I guess, but really, we didn't get anything new here outside of Steven Universe Lars of the Stars, and that's not even coming to Cartoon Network. It's going to Amazon Prime Video. So what is the future of Cartoon Network then? Is this going to be a brand that's dead within the next half decade? Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about the fact that the Annecy Film Festival for Animation really didn't have a lot regarding Cartoon Network this year? Or do you disagree with me and you're happy with the news that we got? On top of that, what do you think the future of Cartoon Network, the channel, is, given that Lars of the Stars is going to Amazon and isn't even coming to Cartoon Network? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.